Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin, and welcome to Cavalcade of Food. I'm glad you could be with me today, and we are making an onion shortcake. How does that sound? This is a sort of a variation on a cornbread, but onions are the star of the show. And I was thinking it's really hard to cook a lot of foods if you don't use onions. Onions we take for granted, but they add so much flavor to so many things, and this is one of those things where if you like onions, and there are people who don't, I get that, but I like onions, and I know a lot of other people who do, and so I wanted to make this for us. So it's a pretty simple recipe. You're going to need either an 8x8 or a 9x9 baking dish to bake it in. You're going to need to preheat your oven to 425 degrees, and the rest is fairly straightforward. The recipe is in the description below, but we'll get to it. Really just includes basic ingredients you probably already have on hand, including an onion. You can use whatever kind of onion you really love, and today I've just got an ordinary run-of-the-mill yellow cooking onion. I always have a bag of them in the pantry, so that's what we'll be using. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we're going to start. Again, I just have a yellow cooking onion here, and that's what I'm going to use. And so the recipe calls for 1 cup of sliced onion. So I'm going to cut off the two ends here, and I'm just going to cut it in half like this and take off the outer skin. Whether you slice an onion or dice an onion, and there are a lot of different ways to do it. I didn't go to cooking school or anything. I'm just a home chef, home cook. I wouldn't even say chef is the right word. But this calls for sliced onion. Now, if I was dicing this onion, I'd cut it this way first and then cut it across, and that would give you a dice. But in this case, we want a cup of sliced onion. And I'm going to be cutting this relatively thin. Always want your knife sharp, folks. That really makes cutting whatever it is much easier. And so I'm just going to cut thin slices here. This was a small to medium onion, and we want a cup. Give or take, doesn't have to be exact. So here's a cup measurement. And let's see how much this gives us. I guess we could probably use a little more. So, yeah, the good old yellow cooking onion is, like I said, something that I have always kept on hand. My mom always had a bag of them in the pantry. I hold the onion like this, sort of with my fingernails almost in the onion a little bit to hold it in place. That way the knife won't cut my fingers if I get too close. And again, like anybody, sharp knives are the best to use, but I can't tell you how many Band-Aids I've gone through over the years. Okay, that's about a cup in my book. So now what we're going to do is, you can see I've got a skillet with a half a cup of melted butter here. We're going to add our onions to this and get these cooked down. Okay, so we've got this on medium, high heat. Again, this was quarter cup, or also known as a half a stick of butter. And we are going to cook these onions. We want to do two things. We want to soften them up. We want to sweeten them up. And if you know of a better smell than onions cooking in butter, I'd like to know it, because I just love it. Now, I'm going to add my salt and pepper here. I'm going to put in a little salt. Yes, that's right. I know I've gotten scolded for using a sugar shaker for salt. But here's the thing, folks. I don't use that much sugar. I don't put sugar in my coffee or anything else, my tea. And so, you know what? Do what you want. You want to put salt in a sugar shaker? Do it. I even got pepper. This is real coarse ground pepper that does not come out easily through a standard pepper shaker, and so I keep it in a sugar shaker. Yes, I do. So, anyways. All right, we're going to let this cook for a few more minutes and continue to soften up. You could take these to almost them starting to turn brown if you want. Okay, so now we're going to put we got the onions cooking in the butter. Now we're going to put together sort of our shortbread of the onion shortbread. We're going to start with an 8.5 ounce box of corn muffin mix, and of course I'm in Michigan, so I use Jiffy because it's made right here in Chelsea, Michigan. So we're going to put that in the bowl, and we have got an egg here, one large egg at room temperature. We're going to beat it slightly. Eggs tend to beat better, easier at room temperature. Let's get that whole egg in there. Then, of course, we need some milk. I've got 1/3 cup of milk. Use 2% or whole. And then this is 8.5 ounces of creamed corn, cream-style corn, which is the small can. Sometimes they're hard to find, but you only need 8.5 ounces. So if you need to get the larger can, which I think is 11 ounces or 14 ounces, get it, but just measure out 8.5 for this. And then just to give it a little kick, take your favorite hot sauce. Let's give a little dash of that in there, and then we're going to mix this up. The hot sauce is optional if you don't want that. It just gives a nice little kick, I think. And we're going to stir this. Don't overmix. You just want to make sure everything's combined, especially that corn, and that all of your corn muffin mix is moistened. Okay? All right, we're done with that. We'll set it aside. Let's get back to our onions. Okay, these are looking great. I'm actually going to turn the heat off here. I like that. Some of them are starting to brown up a little bit, but I'm very happy with where those are. Now, let me prepare I'm going to grease up my 8x8 baking dish, and then we'll start putting everything together. Okay. So, pan is greased. Let's put our batter here for our shortcake in our greased pan. Get all that in there. Okay. So, get it evenly distributed. So now, here's our beautiful onions. Now, we're not done with these onions quite yet. We're going to add a couple of things to the onions. How about we add a cup or 8 ounces of sour cream? That's right. Because why wouldn't you want to do that? Let's put the sour cream right in with these onions. Let me get that mixed in first. And of course there's still residual butter in this pan. The pan is still warm, so it's really helping to melt down that sour cream. Helps to get everything nice and mixed together. Then I've got a cup of shredded cheddar, sharp cheddar cheese. I'm going to take half of it, so a half a cup, and I'm going to put that in there. Then I'm going to take a little bit of dried dill. And, don't need a lot, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. And we're going to put that in there. Now, we will continue to mix this together. Okay. And I think I'm going to put in a little black pepper, because I like black pepper. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is we're going to lay this over our batter. There we go. Try to get it even. Did I mention I've got the oven preheated here to 425 degrees. I'm kind of gently spreading it a little bit as well. And we don't want to leave any of this onion sour cream mixture behind. Okay. Very good. All right. Now we've got this half a cup of shredded cheese left over, and that we're just going to sprinkle over the top. All right, we're going to put this in the oven, center, and 425 for 25-30 minutes. I checked it at a half an hour, 30 minutes, and it wasn't quite ready. So it went another about 8 minutes. And, yeah. See that beautiful golden top? That's exactly what we want. And you can see it's starting to separate from the sides of our baking dish, which is another telltale sign. I wish you could smell it in here. It smells like onions. It smells like bread. It's wonderful, and I would love to dig into this right now, but of course it's just too hot. So we're going to let it cool off, and then we will come back and give it a taste. Okay, friends, let's get into it, shall we? So it's still warm, which is really the best way to serve this shortbread. I'm going to make a cut here, and we'll take a corner piece. Well, so I'm going to cut through some of these onions here. There we go. So, you can see you've got the cornbread on the bottom, which is done, and then on top you've got that layer of cheese, sour cream, and onions. How about that? And then just look at that beautiful corner. Look at that edge. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Wow. Oh my gosh. I love the cornbread anyways, but you've got kernels of corn in there. You've got a ramped up corn flavor, because remember we put the creamed corn in there. And then those onions and sour cream. Wow. Believe me, this isn't sweet, but I could have this for dessert. It's that good. Really yummy. And then, you know, again, because I took a corner piece, you've got that crispy edge. Oh. Okay. Let's just say it's great. It's good. It's delicious. So, recipe down below in the description. Cavalcatofood.com is the website. You can connect to all my videos of different kinds, plus my other channel, Always Analog, plus my radio program on Saturday mornings, Cavalcade Radio Hour. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope everyone is warm and well and safe and doing okay. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you back here real soon on Cavalcade of Food. Bye, everybody.